Hi love. So a woman recently went viral. I'm sure you've seen this video already.
Hello guys, I wanted to show you my 5-week post-op nose reveal. This is what she's looking like from the front. This is her from the side. Other side. The nostrils, don't mind that thing in there. It's not a booger, it's just a stitch that still needs to dissolve.
Like, the internet has dragged her because of the botched nose job that she got, and I want to talk about it. As you know, not specifically her, but just the whole resurgence of a lot of black women getting their nose done. Is it a sign of freedom? Is it just a cosmetic thing? Is it not that deep? But anyway, TikTok video of that lady sparked a lot of different conversations. It wasn't just like public shame, but also talks about identity. Let's talk a little bit more about the historical weight of the black nose. So as we know, during the 18th to the 19th century, there's a lot of pseudoscience going on around, which colonial powers used to categorize people based on how some of their facial structures were. In fact, I remember learning back in high school about their hair test in South Africa, that in order to categorize you into like black, colored, or white, whatever, they used to take a pencil and run it through your hair, and if it got stuck, then you were black, even though your face or everything else looked white or looked colored or looked Indian. But like, the hair test was a thing. And in America, it was also the paper bag test. If you looked like the paper bag, something like that. Another thing was our noses, and this was everywhere, where if you had a flat nose or a big nose, a nose that did not look or did not fit the standard of the European beauty standard, you were categorized to be the other and not, you know, the purest form of being a human being, which was being white. So again, during like slavery and colonialism, your nose shape could determine whether you were inferior or not. So when we talk about things like this, especially as black people, when you talk about hair, it's never just hair. I hate that so much sometimes when I'm having conversations with people and I'm trying to get deeper into the conversation, and they're just like, but it's just hair, but it's just this, but it's just this. It's never just that, especially when it comes to us, because a lot of things on our body determine whether we could be treated as human beings or not. So with that, the black nose has just never been just a black nose. It has been a tool of exclusion, policing, and dehumanization. Fast forward to today, the European beauty standard has been globalized. It doesn't just apply to black people having features that are more European-like and thus they are more beautiful, but like, they creep into every little culture, especially within our media, where whether it be an Indian person, whether it be other races. Why can't I think of other races in my head? Do I need to? Okay. Anyway, they have to have Eurocentric facial structure to be determined as the beauty of that certain race. Because if they look like their race and what is more popular in their race, suddenly they're not as beautiful. And that also makes it seem like the Eurocentric structures only belong to them, where that's never been proven, because a lot of features that are dominant within the white space or white people, they are in other races as well, such as blue eyes. There are a lot of people in many different races with blue eyes, a small nose, thin lips, all those things. You can find them in every single race, so it doesn't just belong to them. So this Eurocentric beauty standard still weep in. Is that weep in? Like, in my head, I'm imagining like a smoke just coming down on a city and just like sitting inside, and people can't see it because it's like clear. Yeah, so how is this like Eurocentric beauty standard like gone into society unnoticed? I think it's simple things such as filters. For example, you know, when Snapchat filters were so popular, like, it made your nose smaller, right? It made your skin lighter. It's those little things that seep in the culture, or seep in, you know, social media, and we deem it as normal, but all those things go in the back of our heads and make us feel like who we are naturally is not good enough. Not only that, especially when it comes to our noses, whenever black celebrities get there, the ones that we see and look up to, they're always changing their nose, which just subconsciously always tells us that, our noses aren't good, so therefore we should change it when we get money. That's one thing we're gonna get, is change it. And obviously this applies to women in general. How a lot of women, when they get popular, when they get money, the first thing that they want to do is change their appearance for it to look more Eurocentric or more racially ambiguous, especially these days. Like a little bit of black here, a little bit of Asian here. Like we just, taking apart different races to look like this ambiguous, unreal human person. And it's actually quite scary. But back to black noses and black women. A lot of us have been bullied growing up because of our noses. There are a lot of people that come online and say, I took this, nose job because I was bullied for my nose, and I still get bullied, especially right now. Women who don't have that small little pointed nose that are in the public eye are constantly getting bullied for their noses. And when they do get surgery, they're also blamed for it. But it's kind of like, well, we can't really win.
So this whole conversation around black women getting the Whoville nose is really aggravating me. Y'all get on here talking about she was so beautiful before, her nose was great, her nose was... The only reason these women are seeking out these honestly white noses is because you all have made fun of them for their black noses. But I hate the hypocrisy in the discourse when you're trying to meet the black beauty standard, like when you get a BBL versus when you go the other way and you're conforming to what people might think is a more Eurocentric beauty standard. First of all, that's stupid. When people are like, oh, the tilted nose is white, every genetic variation in the sun comes from Africa. That's the most asinine argument. There are people on the African continent who have that nose. But that part's not important. I am sick and tired of black people, particularly black men, telling black women how hideous their features are night and frickin' day, and then being shocked when the women do something extreme to them. If the beauty standard black men praised was looking black, that's what would be popular. But it's a red herring. They pretend to complain about wigs and weaves and contour and this and that, but every song they rap about is praising the long-haired, light-skinned, the yellow bone, the red bone, the exotical. So you want girls who look like that just naturally. You want the black beauty standard to be as little looking Afrocentric as possible. And you want the ability to create this fake ass discourse where you get to punish women for meeting that standard artificially. Because what you really want is the ability to be with women who are not black or who are only partially black, and then say, well, that's just my preference. I just like these features. And if actual black women can buy those features, you no longer have an excuse. Your self-hatred gets exposed. So you're like, oh my God, you were so beautiful before. You don't fucking think that. Otherwise, you would have been with women like that before. But the black community as a whole gets on my nerves with this stupid ass discourse. Dating and everything aside, they want to act so surprised. Oh, Lil' Kim was so beautiful before. Yeah, she was beautiful before, and she got her first plastic surgery because of DV, because a black man broke her face. So if instead of talking all the time, you actually protected black women and girls, they wouldn't be traumatized and they wouldn't go to these extreme measures. They wouldn't need reconstructive surgery, and then they wouldn't get body dysmorphia and keep on hacking away at themselves. And it's always retrospective. It's always after the person has done whatever amount of surgeries, you say, oh, they were so beautiful before. The reason they felt ugly to begin with is because you never praised their beauty. When they looked dark-skinned, when they had a wider nose, when they had natural hair, you never praised them then. It's always in retrospect. Because you just want to talk. They look black, you tell them that they're too black, they're too Afrocentric, they're too this, they're too that, and you like the long-haired yellow bones. They get augmentation. Oh, you looked better before. Shut up. Because who had the most to say negatively when Lupita Nyong'o was elected most beautiful by People magazine? It was black men. Gilbert Arenas. Oh, she's not really beautiful. When she became the spokesperson for Lancome, Kodak Black literally called her a man. And I'm glad she has the sense not to listen to the demographics. But why do other black women think that they're somehow deficient? It's because of black men. Don't play blind man's bluff now. It is you. Everyone can see you. Everyone in the world sees how every woman you uplift looks nothing like the majority of black women. Because blackness is associated with what? Melanation. So they always find the most lightly melanated or unmelanated woman they can, with straight hair, light eyes, and none of the features that define or accord with melanation and uplift her as a Black queen. Stop it. You are embarrassing yourselves. And then when you get called on it, it's, oh, well, you should love yourself. And when little Black girls like that one who was on all the talk shows and whatnot go viral for saying that they think that they're ugly because that's the message they've been fed by every Black man around them and Black boy, y'all want to try to gaslight them. Why do you think you're ugly? Because every music, video, TV show, movie is reflecting the opposite of her experience. Aside from the 2 Black Panther movies, which were made about 2 seconds ago, can you name me a Black movie where the lead woman is darker than a paper bag and the movie is not about slavery or civil rights or it's not some kind of biopic? I'll wait. I'll sit right here. Any movie you want. The only caveat is the Black woman lead has to be having a great time. She has to be being sported and adored. Any movie you want, as long as there's no suffering. I'm still waiting. Even the light, bright leads like Sanaa Lathan are always having a bad time. Loving basketball, brown sugar, disappearing acts. So imagine how much worse actually unambiguous Black women get treated on screen. And off screen too. And then y'all have the nerve to make think pieces about this bullshit? Make a think piece about how Black men have been making movies for over 100 years, and you couldn't name me one rom-com made by a Black man starring a Black woman who actually looks Black. And one who's dark-skinned, forget about it. Make a think piece about how the image Black men promote of the most ideal thing a Black woman can be is not Black. Not melanated, to share none of the features of the majority of the race. Make a think piece about how much these men hate themselves because they love to augment themselves. Charlemagne has bleached his skin to death, but we don't talk about that. How many of these men have gotten their noses done and their BBLs? Hey there, Drake. They keep their hair cut down to their scalp because they can't stand any sign that they are actually Black. Do a piece on that. Like and follow for more.
But also, we cannot forget the argument that, but also white women get their noses done. As I said before, many races, many women get their noses done. It's not just like a Black issue. Relevant, points taken, true. Always the why. Why are you getting it done? You know what I'm saying? It's the same argument, especially when it comes to hair. Many women of all races have extensions, wear wigs, do all these things. But obviously when it comes to us, it is always a deeper conversation because of why, the reason why, the historical context behind it is never just as, like a trend or whatever it is. You have to ask yourself, you can be honest with yourself, like, why do you put on a wig? Is it to protect your hair or is it because you hate your hair? Right? Why do you want to get the nose done? Is because you feel like it makes you look too Black? You want to look as close to your white counterparts as possible? Or is it another reason, I don't know what other reason there could be, but like you have to be honest with yourself and make sure that you heal what's inside and accept yourself as Black before you decide to get any other cosmetic procedure that's gonna erase part of your Blackness. For some people, keeping their noses as they are is a form of rebellion against white supremacy. They're not gonna let the machine change who they are. And for other people, changing their nose is a form of freedom and liberty and as a way to reclaim what has been taken from them. Either way, a Black woman, unfortunately for us, everything kind of is political in a way. Like our hair, just wearing our natural hair is saying something. So it's going to that where when you change your nose, it's gonna say something about what you believe in and your self-worth in a way. Like the Black nose is no longer just a body part, but like cultural and more political and deeply personal, especially as just cosmetic procedures are just becoming more and more popular and more affordable to the everyday person. We're probably going to go to a point where it's questionable not to have had your nose done, as it is questionable for other women, for other Black women who just rock their natural hair. Like it's questionable. Like why? Like are you a certain type of person? You're gonna attract certain type of people. So when people see Black people who look like Black people, they're gonna question that. Like, okay, what are you trying to say? Are you judging me or having, having my nose done. I don't know, but like something, as the world keeps spinning, like things are just gonna get, worse and worse and just weirder and weirder. In conclusion, like our facial structures really hold so much history, and when you think about it, you really want to hold on to it. I mean, we've seen it with the whole veneers thing. People are looking weird. People are looking the same. And it's no longer, that cute, do whatever you want, obviously. But like, people, I feel like there's just so much erasure of us already in media, in everywhere. So it's kind of like, in as much as my nose is not, the European, I want to, reserve that because it is part of who I am. It says my history, there's so much to it than just like what society wants it to be. I'm not here campaigning to be anti, cosmetic surgery. Like at the end of the day, you have the power, you have the bank account, you do whatever you want. But I always want to encourage someone to really have a conversation with themselves and be like, why am I doing this? What is the real reason behind it? And really work on that first before you decide to have this huge major change on your body, because some of these things are irreversible. So you always want to make sure that it's coming from a place of confidence, a place of understanding, and understanding the historical things behind it as well. So yeah, this was such a weird topic for me to even talk about. I didn't think about I would ever make such a video. But before I go, I want to give a shout out of the week. Shout out to @SaintLovesYou1. Thank you so much for supporting me. I see you, girl. I see you commenting. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you subscribing and commenting and engaging with my content. Anyway, just remember that you are beautiful and that, God loves you. Yeah, anyway, tell me what you guys think about this topic down below. See you guys next time. Bye.